Good evening, one and all. For the first time in 2023, Ben, what have you been up to since Christmas?
Not a lot, really. What about you? Much happened?
Same. No, this whole PirateCast, I just couldn't be bothered. I just kicked back for a few months and it's better things to be doing, to be fair.
We forgot the Pirates were in the Championship and not the Premiership, and started our coverage at the same time as Eurosport did. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, we're a multi-million-pound operation, just like Eurosport, so I hear. So, we thought we'd fly with the same people.
If it's good for them.
Yeah, if it works, it works. Welcome to PirateCast, everyone. For those who don't know, we will cover our absence very quickly in just a moment. Many of you know, but we'll cover that off in a minute. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, welcome. We've got so many people already tuning in and have really missed the interaction with everyone. Everyone's been trying to keep up with us on social media and all that sort of thing, and it's been amazing. But it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back live, doing a proper show. PirateCast.live if you want to get a direct link to our YouTube channel. We've also got piratecast.co.uk, which is our main website. youtube.com/PirateCast live if you want to type in the whole web address. We're available on Facebook at facebook.com/The PirateCast. Twitter, we are at PirateCast. Instagram, we are PirateCast Live. And make sure when they've got an offer on for some money off, don't do it any other time. Shop.piratecast.live, and you can get some random t-shirts with the logo on. So there we go.
There were some proper, there was a period of time where I was getting one every week for the shop.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's some good deals. So if you dive in there sort of once a week and just sort of see if they've got any offers on and pick up some PirateCast merch. I guess we should address the elephant in the room before we go.
Don't talk about yourself like that.
Well, I've put on a lot of weight for steroids. But I'm back on the burgers down at Wimborne Road, so that's not helping either. So as many of you know, I mean, we've obviously we planned in the close season to do pretty regular shows. Maybe once every 2-3 weeks or once every month, maybe, just to keep in the loop with you guys and bring back some of the the news and talk you through some of the signings and all that sort of stuff. And we managed to have a quick chat with Danny Ford, and we announced Jack Thomas right before Christmas, and we haven't done a show since then. Some challenging times since then is all I'm going to say. It's just after Christmas. I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. Ended up having a pretty scary operation in January, and then went through 4 months or 3.5-4 months of chemotherapy, which has been an absolute goddamn nightmare. But the important thing is I'm through the other side, just waiting for some test results now. And hopefully, again, if everyone can keep fingers crossed and positive vibes towards the end of next week, fingers crossed, everything's going to be okay. But still feeling the after effects of the chemo, which has sort of left me a bit run down. My hair is gone, which is a bit crap. But yeah, I'm not going to take the hat off. You're not going to get to see it. All I'm going to say, if you want to see what I look like without a hat on now, this isn't coming off. I get down to the local library, walk into the kids section, pick up a copy of Humpty Dumpty, turn to about page 3. That's what I look like right now. So there you go, sneak preview. It's pretty much saying Ben had a quick look, and I think I blinded him because the light was just shining off. And yeah,
I had a stroke. It's like a kiwi.
It is like a kiwi. I mean, it's getting there, but it's a bit of a far cry from what I had before. I mean, my hair was down here. The beard is slowly coming back. I'm forcing it, but nothing is happening. But no, in all seriousness, I want to thank, certainly from the Poole Speedway side of things, the massive support that I've had all through this time, the personal messages. I did try and come up with a list of everyone I needed to thank for all of their sort of work and just keeping my spirits up, all that the sort of contact, the DMs and everything that I had, that certainly picked me up at really difficult times. Going through some of the treatment was really, really low times, and some key people, they know they are, who have sort of chimed in with personal messages and really kept in touch with me, has been absolutely fantastic, and I cannot thank everyone enough. It sounds very it's almost cliche, but it just makes me realize that the Poole Speedway lot as much, oh, we're Poole, we're the Manchester United, we're arrogant, we're not happy unless we're winning, all this stuff. It's a family. All of you guys have, reached out, whether it's been personal messages, whether it's been comments on statuses or anything like that. Every single person who's done something like that is, thank you so much. It's really helped me along, and so much positive energy. So that's that. Fingers crossed, everything from this point onward should be relatively normal. Ben and Voldemort killing it. Thank you.
Brilliant.
No, it's again, it's been really amazing. Everything should be pretty much back to normal now. I hope we'll be live sort of every sort of 2-3 weeks from now on, and we'll get some pirates on to talk to us. And we do have one waiting in our green room who we'll get to very shortly. A pirate who has, just keeps getting better. And what can we say about that? That's what we like with our riders. That they come on board, and each season they just keep getting better. And that's what we've got from Ben Cook, who'll be coming on very, very shortly. The one thing, I've already messed up the show running order, haven't I? This was supposed to be.
I'm not. You didn't have to say it. Nobody would know. You didn't have to say it.
I would. I like to be bare bones with stuff and just sort of say, yeah, we effed up already. Okay. So the other thing, do you want to? I've been talking for about 10 minutes now. So do you want to talk about this? And Carl, who's in the chat room, can probably flesh out some details that we've.
So thank you very much to Carl for the product placement this evening. So this is an ale. And it is called, as per our top of our frame, Superstar DJ. And it's brewed in conjunction with Dark Revolution Brewery in Salisbury.
Yes.
Carl's been involved with this. I'm not entirely sure he is the Superstar DJ involved. I think it's very big of himself to assume that. But yeah, get on over to Dark Revolution, all their socials. If you search Dark Revolution, all their socials are there. They're a local brewery in Salisbury. They've got a great range of ales. They also have a little bar area with live acts on as well that you can get tickets for. Looks really, really great. I haven't been over to check it out yet, but I have checked out a couple of the ales now. And hang on. There we go.
Yeah.
Cheers,
we'll be drinking this evening to Carl. I think the way they put it is Carl is like the ambassador for this particular IPA. So check them out, darkrevolution.co.uk. You can either buy online and they'll ship it to you. You can buy it online and go and pick it up from Salisbury, or you can just go in there, because not only can you go in there and buy stuff, it's also a tap room as well. So they've got benches and seats and everything. You can go up there and they'll pull you a pint. It's amazing. Great place. So definitely check it out. It's not far, it's only Salisbury. So check it out. All good.
Right. I'm very conscious that Ben is waiting in the green room. Bless
That's
him,
what I was just
patiently.
That's what I was just going to say. We'll get Carl to throw him a few of these. It'll be all right.
We haven't done a few shout outs. So Colin's in, Darren's in, Clive's in, Becky Lowe is in. Super excited. Nige is back. We missed you on Wednesday, mate. Rob Dyer filled in ably for you, but it's never the same when you're not there. Pink Tuck, as always, ever present. Andy, Betty Lou, latecomer Mandy Dullington just made it for the start of the show. We're having a conversation just before we're live about that.
You were shouting about shopping or something.
I wasn't shouting at anybody. You can't prove it. But yeah, it's great to have all you guys back in the chat room. Nice to see none of the banter's gone away so far. And also, please don't focus on any of the negative comments in the chat room and let that detract from what's going on tonight. We want to ask the questions that you want asked to Ben. We'll put them to him. So without further ado,
let's bring him on. Here we go. I'll do all the changing of the screens and everything. Now, I haven't used this stuff in 5 months, so if we're a bit clunky tonight, if it feels like we're doing bunny hops and the engine's feeling a bit dodgy, then this is probably us. So here we go. Let's bring Ben on.
There he is.
There he is. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not bad. Not bad. Considering. That's all I can say. I
got no IPA.
You can't.
I told him to give you a can. I actually said you should give Ben a can for the show. Sorry, mate.
Next time.
Thanks for coming on, Ben. Really good to have you on.
Absolutely. I mean, as we were saying at the start of the show there, it's one of the things that we always got told in the sort of early years of us being Speedway fans is you want riders who will sort of naturally improve. That the key is to get them into a team with a low average, and they're going to improve on that average during the year. And you're doing it sort of season to season at the moment. You're naturally sort of building into a sort of quality rider. This year, of course, you're in the Premiership as well as the Championship. I guess what the question is, I mean, you've had to essentially step into the boots of Danny King as a third heat leader. We kept Richard Lawson, we kept Steve Worrell. Obviously, Danny went, and you've stepped into that third heat leader role. How did you approach that? Was it kind of daunting when sort of Midlow said, you're going to be a third heat leader, or Danny?
Not so much. I mean, I raced with those guys last year. I was proven that I could beat those guys. So I really didn't think about it too much. I just go out there and take every race as it comes. And obviously, we want to all go out there and win every heat. So to be honest, I haven't really thought about it too much and what number I've got on. But other than go out there and win each race. And so far, it's been going good.
Amazing.
Fantastic to hear. Fantastic. Now, Ben, it's like Lee mentioned before we brought you on the show. It's been so great to see your development from starting with Poole to where you are now. Obviously, you've got your Premiership berth now at Peterborough. I was going to say, it's probably a stupid question. How do you feel your season's going so far? I know it's quite early on, but I've been blown away seeing some of your performances. How are you feeling it's going?
Yeah, it's been going good. I can't complain at all. Like you said, I've got the double up this year with Peterborough, so I'm getting a lot more rides. Just this in the last from Wednesday to Wednesday, I think I worked it out. I was 7. I had like 30 races, I think, in this week alone or something. So yes, that's definitely a big thing, because if you're not on the bike, you're not going to keep progressing. So it's good to be busy. That's what we're over here to do, and like I said, it's been good so far.
Excellent stuff. Moving over to the chat room, we've already got questions coming in. Pink Tuck Michelle, she says, hi Ben, last night's fall, very unusual for you. Was it a rider issue or a track issue? I know there were some interesting conditions. They were putting down a load of water. And again, when you're sort of on your own with no one near, it's quite rare to see you come off. And when you got back on the bike, you were storming around. I think another couple of laps, you'd have been right back up with the guys. But what caused that? Was it just a random slip up?
Yeah, to be honest, I've really got no idea. It's I surprised myself. I just kind of come into the corner, and I was getting towed around nice, and went to turn the bike, and all of a sudden I was on the ground, and to be honest, I don't really have an explanation for it. Just one of them things, I guess. It was the first meeting back. Like, the sun was pretty hectic, and it was a rookie mistake, didn't have me tinted lenses on. But to be honest, I really don't know what happened. But lucky it was in the first one, and we went on from there and had a solid night.
Excellent stuff.
Now, obviously, it does frustrate me a little bit. Fans always sort of give their predictions at the start, and they thought we were going to walk it last night. I was very impressed by Scunthorpe and how they came out to us. I know that the previous week, Redcar, that was a tough match, and I know the track conditions weren't to everyone's liking at the start of the meeting, but Scunthorpe bought it early on. Obviously, you had the full. Were you surprised how tough they were to overcome at home yesterday? Yeah,
definitely. I think they shocked us a bit when we couldn't get a heat advantage at all, for the first, half a dozen races at least. And I think we're on the not on the back foot, but we were kind of surprised a bit and thought, we got to get our asses into gear here and start scoring some heat advantages. And we ended up doing it in the end. But I feel like the track was not how we kind of wanted it. It was very, very slick, and this just not how we like it. But next week is a new week, and hopefully we can sort that out and get off to a good start and not be chasing.
It's one of those interesting challenges, isn't it? I think within in Poole, certainly, in the space of about 2 months, you can go through like 3 different seasons worth of weather. One week you're riding a track that's had rain constantly for about 12 hours before they're trying to dry it out. The next week it's just brutal sunshine. The track is dusty and they can't keep water in it at all. Are you there? Are you? Ben's frozen a little bit. Hopefully he can still hear us.
Oh.
Back. There we go. Have we got you, Ben?
Have you got us, Ben?
Hello, Ben. Can you hear us? Looks like Midlow's not paid his Wi-Fi bill.
Ben, have you got us? I don't think he can hear us on his side.
No, I don't think so. He's frozen. Okay. We shall maybe, Ben, do you want to message him, tell him to hang up, and we'll try again?
Yeah.
Get him to join the chat again, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think it's Midlow, streaming stuff that he shouldn't be streaming. Probably is interfering with it. Yeah, Carl says Midlow needs to move to BT. Keep those questions coming in the chat room there. We will get Ben back hopefully in a second. So keep the questions coming in, and we'll put them back to Ben in just a moment. There we are. So
right,
this Ben is really big now. Yeah,
I have message say, we're wrong. We're in.
Oh, well, I haven't got the names because that's
a world-ending paradox when that happens, mate.
All right, moved. There we go. We're happy now.
Just going back to the beer, Carl said it wasn't named after him because otherwise it would be called Mediocre DJ. You got lucky.
Absolutely not. Hard work.
No, bang on. Absolutely bang on. He didn't do anything in the last GP until the last 4 heats. Got to watch a whole GP for nothing. Amazing, mate.
That's good. Oh, I think we've got Ben back. Let's give it a go.
Are we back?
There he is.
Back.
We're back. We're back. Oh, let's move this back over here. There we go. It
was weird. We had you. We could hear you saying, I can't hear. We've got difficulties, but we still had you.
And carrying on.
No, we didn't get that. Unfortunately.
I forget where I was now. Oh yeah, we were talking about the track, weren't we? So yeah, 1 week it could be, so much water on the track that you don't know what to do with it. The next week it's brutally hot all day. You can't keep any water in the track. Next week it's, like last night, they were putting out so much water at the start, and then, within a couple of heats, it was really dusty again. Is that? I know that must be a bit of a challenge for you. I mean, especially out in Aussie, I'd imagine the tracks are pretty much, you don't get that much variation of weather when you're practicing. Is it a bit of a challenge? Does it make you a more complete rider, I guess, when you've got to adapt to all these different conditions and learn different setups with different weather conditions?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's now the weather's getting a bit warmer, and I feel like it is tough just on the day to try and get the water down into the surface. You kind of need the night before to really drench the track and flood it and let the water soak down. And he was working the water into the track on the day, but I feel like the night before really would help. And just the water just wasn't quite there, and the outside, the dirt was kind of powdery. So if you went in it, and it didn't really do much. So we've kind of had a talk to him, and next week hopefully we can sort that out.
Good stuff. Amazing. Now we've got one from the chat room, Ben. Clive Tyres has asked, what differences are you finding racing for the Panthers and the Pirates? Are there any? Is it very different setup? I mean, obviously you're very part of the furniture at Poole. You know the setup there. Have you found the transition tricky, or has it been quite seamless?
It's different. Obviously, you're riding for a different club and all different management team members. It's all new. You're still going out there racing people, but obviously the opposition's probably a bit more competitive. You don't go out there and get an easy heat. You're always racing someone good, and it is harder to get them points. And if you're not on the game, you quite easily can run some last places. So that's probably the biggest difference. And but that's what you got to do if you want to keep progressing.
And just within that, obviously there's been a bit of upheaval within the team. You've been riding without a number one for a while. Clearly you love the Kings Lynn track this week. That was an absolutely phenomenal performance. how are you finding it with, starting at reserve? You strike me as a rider who the more rides, the better as to an extent. So you're getting those extra rides already, and it just seems to be doing you the world of good.
Yeah, obviously it is good that I'm getting them rides and extra rides, but it also means that people in the top of the order of the team aren't doing their job, which as a team perspective isn't so good. And like you said, we kind of had our first real number one with Dan on Monday, and it shows that we can put in a good result when we do have a number one, and that's what we haven't had all season. So I think there's some changes coming, and hopefully we can kick on from now, and you just got to make them playoffs and anything can happen.
Yeah, totally with you. Moving back on to last night, I think one of the only other things I wanted to bring up about last night, obviously, you had there was a presentation before the meeting, the Riders Equipment Fund, and the story about the engine. So, as I understand it, did you shipped it back from the UK to Australia? It just never turned up.
Yeah, I literally at the end of the season, I bought an engine, put it in the workshop, pulled it out, had a look at it, and went, yeah, that's good, and packaged it back up, put the labels on it to send it to Aussie, and I got back to Australia, and Zach's engines and that turned up, and I then started getting on the email and wondering where mine's gone, and tried to track it down, and pretty much from back and forward for the last however months, come to the conclusion that they have just lost it, and they've really got no idea, and it's literally like talking to a brick wall. Sometimes you can't get the answer out of them, and they don't want nothing to do with it really. They want to give me 50 quid or something for it. And,
nice.
No.
Yeah, so it was very frustrating, especially the start of the season. You outlay all that money, and it just pretty much just went down the drain before I even got to do anything with it. So I had to buy another engine again at the start of the season, and on the back foot from the start. But I've tried to put that behind me now and not think about it, because there's not much I can do. Not much I can do about it now, but I haven't forgotten. I'd still like to track it down, and that's got to be somewhere. But
yeah, I think there'll be one random day, probably like during the winter, you'll just get this random knock on the door with this old like battered box, and like, is this yours?
Yeah,
and then this engine.
And then just building on that, did the engine on the match against Redcar, that's gone? That's completely written off, that one?
No, I end up unbolting it straight away and got it back to the guy that does my engines here in the UK, and he was awesome. I said I'd love it back for Saturday. Like, I know it's a big turnaround, and only in a couple of days, and fair play to him. He got it back for Saturday and back at Redcar, and obviously it had done its job up there, and it was good. But it's never ideal. It was lucky that when it did go, I was pretty much going in the pit gate at Poole after the race, and if it was during the race, it could have been very ugly. But it's never ideal. But that's how it goes.
Now, we picked up on someone at the start gate. Did you also lose your steel shoe on that race?
That was in my last race, actually.
Yeah.
I was on Zach's bike, and then to top it off, I was losing my steel shoe. So, it's.
And then you got that pass on the line that you had to work extremely hard for. So fair play. That was impressive. We thought that was the case, but not many people have picked up on it. So fair play, Ben. That was some riding, really.
Let's go back to the chat room. So Carl is chimed in. So can you ask Ben? He's been playing Land Down Under. When you've won a race and you come round, because you're the only rider who hasn't picked his winning tune. All the other riders have chosen a song to be played when they win. So a bit of pressure on you there to pick one, and you might get some beer out of it. Who knows?
Yeah, leave it with me. I'll have to have a bit of a think. I don't know. I know. Zach's gave him one the other day, and I need to get onto it.
Nice. There you go, Carl. Doing your job.
I think it's great. He does a good job, and I think it is really nice for each rider to have a song they want played when they win a race. So get on that. And Carl has said it's got to be a belter. So give it some thought.
Well, he's the DJ. He needs to give me some Give me some. Give me some.
I wouldn't ask for his advice. It just plays them.
Let's carry on with the chat room. I'll fire this one out. So this is Andy. Hi Ben, which team do you fear the most in the championship this season? Obviously, as we learnt last night, even the teams that the media or the public think are going to be a walkover aren't always that easy at the end of the day, especially when you've got a difficult track to contend with. Anything can happen on the night. Scunthorpe obviously giving us a lot more trouble than we necessarily anticipated. So all teams are a bit of a challenge, but do you have any sort of bogey teams or ones that you don't look forward to facing?
It's a good question, really. I mean, every team on their night has the ability to win. So, I mean, I always thought that Oxford, they're a solid team. When we versed them, they kind of weren't at their full strength, you could say, and we got the win. But yeah, I don't know. Glasgow are going good. Redcar, we showed what we could do with them, and but yeah, every team I suppose has its on their night can do their thing. But yeah, to be honest, I think Oxford at their track, it'll be a difficult task. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens.
Okay.
Just regarding the Redcar meeting, Ben, everyone chipped in that night, and it was a phenomenal meeting because we were all concerned how tough they made it to get through to that final with Glasgow. It seems quite a fair racetrack, but what were your thoughts on that away meeting? And sort of within that, how was Javi? Because it's his first meeting back as away manager.
Yeah, it was a really good meeting. Obviously, like you said, everyone done their job and more, and it was good to have Javi back. And it's kind of a little local derby for him. He likes to get a win over Redcar, that's for sure, and it was good to do that for him. But it was really good. Obviously, before the meeting, everyone thought it was going to go down to the last few heats, and I think it surprised us all really that how well we done it. But that's what the team is strong from 1 to 7, so it just shows what we can do.
Excellent. Evil Robot Steve said, I don't know about that name. Who in the team does Ben most enjoy riding with besides his brother? Obviously, that's kind of a deeper question than most people would think. Obviously, you can't just stick two riders on the track that haven't ridden well before. You need to have a bit of a chat, work out the way they like to ride, who's going to go for the inside, who's going to go for the outside, if you're trying to team ride it, and sort of learn their nuances if you're sort of following behind them. Obviously, you and Zach, as we've seen already this season, have kind of got that dialed in. But who do you enjoy partnering up with on the Pirates apart from Zach?
Well, to be honest, I think it's only Roynan that I get to ride with other than Zach. So I haven't really. Oh well, in Heat 15, I guess that. Me and Steve or me and Rich have ridden together. So to be honest, I haven't had too many different encounters with all the riders yet. But, obviously Steve and Rich, we kind of always have a bit of a game plan in Heat 15 and stuff like that. And being with them for the last 2 years, it's also handy as well. So you learn to know what we all do. And yeah, I suppose them two boys, and it's good having a bit of experience there as well.
Absolutely. Speaking of Richard there, I know obviously we had a bit of bad news. He had a big one earlier on in the week, and obviously missed our Wednesday night clash. Obviously, we've heard he needs to spend a couple of nights in hospital. He's feeling a bit secondhand, had some damage to his lungs. I know we're sort of still waiting on an ETA of when Richard will be back on the team, but obviously not putting you on the spot. But have you heard from Richard? Have you spoke to him at all?
Yeah, I sent him a message, just making sure he's all sweet and tell him to heal up. But I haven't spoken to him in the last couple of days. But he said that he's hoping to be back for next week. But obviously he's got to wait and see how he feels. I guess it's one thing to say it now, but when you're on the bike, you got to be feeling 100%. Otherwise, it's difficult task. But yeah, Rich he won't lay down for nothing, so I'm sure he'll be back.
Yeah, be good to see Rich. It's not the same Pirates team without him. So yeah, best of luck, and best wishes over to Richard. Get well soon if you're watching or listening to this, and we hope to see you on the track again soon.
Just building on what you said about game plan, Ben. I've got a question in it, and it will filter into one from the chat room as well. Do you and Zach need to talk before the start of a race, or do you just have an agreed bit where you're going, depending on which gate you're on? How does that work? Because we know that there is a lot of conflab from time to time between riders about what's going to happen in the first turn. Obviously, a lot of it is guesswork to an extent, or educated guesswork. How does that go about? What does that look like? Because the fans don't really get to see or hear that. Well, they see it, but they don't hear it.
Yeah. Pretty much every race we've got a game plan, and also depends what gate you're off and who you're against as well. So, that also determines on track conditions as well, which lines are working at which times, and it's there's no just set task, you could say. It just depends. If you're off an inside gate and you want to hug it tight, and off the corner have a look to see if he's there, to then let him in for the next corner to give him a run. But like I said, it kind of depends on who you're versing and what gate positions you're off, and there's a few factors go into it.
And just within that, Pinked Up wants to know, what did you shout at Zach the other week, or can't you tell us? There was a moment where he was looking back and it looked like you shouted something at him.
I think I was. Yeah, he was, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I think, he was kind of riding a bit tight, and I was behind him, and I think it was against Plymouth, and I had Howarth right behind me, and I'm trying to tell him to move out, so I can ride with him there. But I think that was that, and it's all part of it. So we've learnt from that, and
Good stuff. Thank you for that.
Next one from Carl. He says, obviously, Speedway riders, when they grow up, they obviously have a dream to be Speedway world champion. Is that something you'd like to look at? As Carl said, is the plan to get to the SGP? Some riders, obviously, out there, they not interested in the world sort of domination scene. They just want to be a part of a team and just do the league racing. But is that your plan eventually, to get into the GPs and be racing there for a few seasons?
I'd say it's pretty much everyone's goal is to be in the GPs. You're the best in the world, and you want to be the number one in the world. So I'd love to be there, but obviously there's a long way to go yet, and a lot of bridges to cross. But I suppose it's an end goal, you could say, and it's being world champion. It'd be pretty cool to say. So that is a goal.
Excellent. I know, switching back to sort of this season and the Pirates, I know it's always very difficult, and you've seen it a couple of times now where the Pirates sort of run the table and win everything. We've had a real couple of successful years, and it's been, I won't say it's been an easy job for Midlow, but when you're winning, everything is a lot easier. And I know on a couple of occasions, Midlow's kind of said in the media, it got to sort of heat 9, 10, 11, sort of had to pull the boys in and give them a bit of a talking to, and it's time to get back on the track and come on, sort this out, otherwise we're going to lose this. Have you seen that side of Midlow before, and sort of what sort of motivation does he give you at that point to get you guys to pull out all the stops in the last few heats?
Yeah, it happens. I wouldn't say quite a lot, but it does happen a lot. When we do get off to a bad start, and we might be down a couple after heat 8, or it might be kind of level. It's like, come on, we want to be up at this stage. So it definitely happens, and it's good to have a bit of a group chat at half time and sort out what's going on, and if we need to change anything or what's working. And I think that's lately this season, we haven't really gotten off to a good start at many meetings yet, but the latter half of the meeting, we kind of are pretty dominant and come home strong. So, and that is generally after them conversations. So, I think that they are good, that we do have them, and it has worked.
Excellent. I know it's always going to take time for a team to gel, especially when you've got, people you're used to being in the pits aren't there anymore, and some new faces coming into the team. It's always going to take that little bit of time for everyone to get on the same page and for a team to properly gel. We are live with Ben Cook from the Poole Pirates, heat leader this year. Fire your questions into the chat room on YouTube. Anything that you want to ask Ben, we've got in for a few more minutes. If you want to speak to Ben, if anything you've always wondered about Ben, his life back in Australia, what he did with his winter. I'm sure he's been asked that 100 times, but you can ask it again tonight if you want. Fire them into the chat room, and I'll do that, or we'll do the best to get that across.
Just sort of building on the aspiration bit around the GP, Ben. Obviously, I'm guessing another aspiration is riding on the continent, and I know you had issues with the type of permit that you had last season. Because you're riding for Peterborough this season, I'm assuming that permit's now been sorted. But is there any movement? Have you got any interest from any continental clubs yet?
Not at this minute, but yeah, it's kind of the goal. The next step for me is to get over there to Poland. Is my kind of goal as well, to get there. And you don't want to rush it though, because it's not cheap. You got to spend a lot of money to set up over there, and you have good equipment. There's no use going out there if your equipment's not up to scratch. And so definitely. Hopefully, it happens sooner rather than later, even this year, hopefully. But I'm not stressed or anything yet. It'll happen when it happens.
Yeah,
I'm very surprised you haven't, if I'm perfectly honest, based on your development season to season, and now you have the ability to do so. So everything crossed for you, mate, on that front. I can't see it'll be very long until someone's knocking on the door.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving on to some more questions in the chat there. Sparky H. Now, this is an interesting one. Do you need to invest more to be competitive in the Premier League, or do most of you use the same equipment? You kind of touched on that earlier. Regardless of who you're riding against, what the league is, or what the team is, you just go out there and do the best you can. Do you have different equipment for Premiership and Championship? How does that work?
Nah, same equipment. You can probably get away with a not as good engine in the lower league compared to that league, but if you want to be good in both leagues, you got to have good equipment. So that's where you invest your money. Got to have good engines and all that kind of stuff. So, and it really shows if you don't have good equipment in the top league that you won't be competitive. So that's definitely a factor. You got to have good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
One
Ben,
from Andy. Ben, would you like to be number one for the Pirates by the end of the season?
Definitely. Yeah, that is a goal of mine, to put the number one on. But you never know. It's not an easy task. Steve and Rich obviously want it on their backs as well. Yeah. So, everyone does. But we'll see. We'll take it as it comes. But that is my goal.
Good stuff. I think that would be. Yeah, it's obviously when especially with your first year being a heat leader as well, it's a very difficult task, and having to sort of beat out an average from someone like Steve Worrell and Richard. Again, I think both of those guys would admit they've had a little bit of a shakier start this year than they'd probably like. And again, you've come out like a train. So, but we're still in only the first league meeting, so the averages are only just starting to count. So, a lot of time to go yet. Let's have a look. Carlito, non-Speedway, but other hosts enjoying a superstar DJ. Ben, I think you are, aren't you?
I'm nearly empty.
I'm on the Hey Girl tonight, so there we go.
You left that hanging, Carl. I did say. Sorry, mate.
So there we go. Next Wednesday, Carl, you know what's got to happen. Let's have a look. My dad's in again, saying with only league scores counting towards rider averages, that's what I just said. Would you prefer stay riding at number 3 when the averages change in July? So I'm guessing, assuming you're not, top of the Pirates averages and thrust into number 1, is number 3 a comfortable position for you to be riding at?
Yeah, I like number 3. Obviously the boys want that number 2 because you don't have to do heat 13, which is a tough race. But it's all part of it. So if I do get that opportunity, I'll take it with both hands and try and do my best. But like you said, first year at heat leader, so we'll just take it steady and see where we go.
Do you think you'd be, if you had to move up to number one, again, sort of moving on from the question before, if you had to move up to number one, would you be encouraging a sort of team reshuffle so you could get Zach in at 2 and, you're kind of partnering with him a little bit more again?
I don't really know. That's out of my department with the that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, depends what his average is at as well at the time.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure Danny and Midlow, they might suggest that as well. Because we've had quite a good partnership there. But yeah, like I said, that's up to them. I just go out there and ride my bike. But yeah, who knows?
So, building on the progression bit, GP, going back to that bit, is your only option for the GP series the Aussie title, or do you have a couple more avenues? Because I'm a bit sort of fuzzy on that side of things. Is it only through the Aussie title you can get in?
Yeah, you got to do, I think it's top 4 in the Aussies get seeded for that. And then I think they might do a wild card one as well. But yeah, it is tough to get that. So especially with the caliber of riders that go back to Aussie, it's stronger than most fields, that they put together over here in UK. So it is tough, but yeah, all them boys want to be there and try and get that spot as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tough lineup as well. It seems more and more competitive as the season's gone. There's a lot of youngsters that are coming through again that are hungry for it, and I guess it's making a very competitive. But I'm guessing it's making your job a bit more difficult in the series in the winter.
Yeah, definitely. You seen Doyley went home, and they all took their best stuff back, and they wanted to try and win it. So it's not easy. It's a big outlay in money as well. We start from down in Adelaide and work your way up to Brisbane. It's a lot of time, money, and travel, and it all goes into it. Carrying around stupid amount of tires and all that goes into it. But yeah, that's what you got to do if you want to try and be Aussie champion. And yeah, it is, like you said, it's a solid field that we put together this year, and I'm sure the next year it'll be the same.
Absolutely. Another sort of behind the scenes question here, and I know I've spoken to Nigel on the Centre Green about this, and Ben and I have been talking about it over the last couple of weeks, especially since we do a lot of the social media stuff and we're trying to get hashtags going and all that sort of stuff. We had Chris and Darcy, the Turbo Twins, sort of famously here for many seasons. We've been looking for a hashtag, and I know Nigel has been looking for a tagline for you and Zach that does involve the word or the name Cook somewhere. Have you got any tips for us, any leads, anything that you used to get called in Aussie, anything like that we could kind of cling on to?
No, not really. That's up to you guys. I got nothing there.
We're trying. Ben, you had a couple, didn't you?
Yeah. I used It's Time to Cook, and then you fell, so that went by the wayside. I scrapped that after that heat. So the best we can come up with is cooking with gas at the moment. That's the best we've come up with so far. So we'll try that. We'll see how it works.
We'll keep working on it.
Yeah.
So I know this question was asked on Press and Practice, but again, and it is one of those generic questions that seems to get fired out. But obviously, the winter, I know you and Zach have got your sort of trades jobs there to keep you busy over the winter over there in Oz. Apart from firing like emails to delivery companies, what else did you do to keep you busy over the winter?
Yeah, like you said, we've both got jobs. I'm an electrician, so I'm working five days a week, and so that's a lot of time there. And then, go back home and I want to chill out a bit. So, we go fishing and go riding, just live it while we can for those 4 months in Aussie. And then in January, that's the Aussie titles time. So there's a couple of weeks there that's pretty full on, and obviously Christmas and all that. So, when it all comes down to it, there isn't a lot of time before we're back here. And so pretty much just it is working, and take it every weekend that you can get over there, and then back here we come.
Good stuff.
Now, just on your downtime, did you play much golf over the winter? Because I know you found quite a love for it over here, and I know you're playing tomorrow. So, did you get to practice much over the close season? And also, what handicap are you playing off of?
Yeah, I played a little bit. I'm not a big fan of just going out playing by myself. So we've got like a 4-man team kind of setups that happen. They're pretty big days back where we live, and it's a big social outing, a few beers. So that's what we kind of dealt in mainly, and had a few games other than that. And but yeah, over here it's good because there's so many courses and so close around here. And when we're not washing bikes or riding, me and Midlow and a few of the other boys go out and play. And we're off tomorrow to Salisbury, I think. Salisbury, and I haven't played there yet, so we'll have to see how we go. But over here I'm off 14 handicap. So
nice, fair play. If you're going to Salisbury, there's a brewery nearby that sells a beer called Superstar DJ. Carl, I think you should drop a word into Dark Revolution and sort the boys out.
Yeah, with just a quick phone call, Carl, you could make 7 people very happy. And Midlow, sorry, 8.
There could be a few more too,
There we go. Okay, so just a last request for some questions in the chat room. Carl has said we want to obviously let Ben have his evening, obviously riding in 2 leagues and trying to get some golf in as well. Doesn't leave him with a lot of time. Carl has said, has Ben considered sparking in the UK?
No. That's why I left Australia to come over here and race bikes. No, it doesn't interest me at all. It's, even if I did do it, it's just the work. It's obviously the buildings are a lot older here and they're all brick, and there's nothing nice about it, to be honest, if compared to Australia, But like I said, I'm not here to be a sparky. I'm here to race bikes. But I do a little bit around here for Midlow and his son Keaton, just some little jobs around the place. But other than that, nah.
I mean, you could be the first speedway rider in the world that stays in Aussie and just does racing in the winter in Oz, and then flies over here for the summer just to do sparky work, and then disappears back in October. It would be amazing.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be, it's just different, isn't it? You're the first speedway riders to do it.
Ben, sorry about that. It's chemo brain. Chemo brain is in full effect. Sorry.
Chemo brain is a thing. I mean, it's been 5 months. What am I going to do? Anyway, continue.
Good to see you back, by the way, as well.
Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. It's been, I'll go a little bit sort of sentimentally. There was.
I wonder when he'd make an appearance. I wonder when he was coming.
Come on. Right, Luke, good to see you, mate.
Yeah, Andrew, mate, I'm going with your haircut now, so yeah.
Cool. It's the way forward, mate. Everybody.
Exactly.
All right, take care.
See ya.
Cheers, Midlow.
Where was that? I was going to get all sentimental then, and then he come in and ruined it. No, one of the things, Nigel, it was messaging me quite a few times during my treatment, and he says it's good to have one sort of goal to sort of focus on just to get you through the really shit times. Sorry to swear, but this is my show. I do it. Go on. Anyway, and I said, the one thing I'm looking forward to doing most is getting back down to Poole and just watching a speedway meeting. And my initial plan was getting down there for the first league meeting, obviously last night. That was where my goal was. And I made it sort of a couple of weeks before that, which was cool. Maybe the first week was pushing it a little bit. I was feeling a bit ropey after that. But honestly, it's so good to be down there and sort of see everyone and just... I mean, if you love speedway, you get the smell and you get covered in dust, and it's all. I was going to say it's all in your hair when you get home, but I haven't got any hair. But you get what I mean. Everything's covered in brown dust, and you've been to a speedway meeting, and it's a great night. So it's great to be back and see you guys in action. Honestly. So there we go. Right, Ben. Any other questions on your side, or should we let this man go and have his dinner before
we'll let him have his dinner, do his chores, and then he can go and play golf tomorrow. And hopefully get some free beer.
Amazing stuff, Ben. Yeah, exactly. Carl, that's on you. Ben, thank you so much again. You're the first pirate, I think, aside from Midlow being team manager, I think you're the first pirate we've had on twice now. Is it 3 times?
Every season, yeah.
All right, 3 times now. Jesus.
Yeah,
okay.
3 times.
Wow, time flies when you're having fun. So thank you very much. Tap your brother up. We'll get him on again next. in a couple of weeks if we can make sure he's free. And we need to get Midlow on as well. That'd be good if he doesn't just busted on your interview again and your brothers. So, but no, in all seriousness, thank you for taking the time out. I know you guys enjoy your downtime as much as everyone. So thank you very much. And we'll see you down there on Wednesday.
Keep up the great work, mate.
Thanks for having
Cheers.
me.
No worries. Cheers, Ben. Take care.
Have a good evening.
See you
Have a good day tomorrow. Cheers, Ben.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you.
There we go. Awesome. That was, of course, Ben Cook having a cracking season so far. And great to see him. Oh, I've done it again. There we go. We've switched. Good. So great to see Ben. Thanks for coming on once again. What the hell happened there?
It's just when we moved, I got all vertigo.
Oh, did it? All right. Yeah.
My little box shook.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Can't say things like that. Let's have a look. Evil Robot Steve says, you did greatly. It's taken me a couple of years to get back to meetings. Yes, it's a bit of a challenge. Let's have a look. Okay. So I think we've covered off everything. Anything else you wanted to get to this evening, Ben? We've it's been the start of a new season. Obviously, we haven't found it as easy as a team, I think, as we got used to the team last year and just sort of plowing straight through people. And I think with all due respect to the boys, it hasn't come to us quite so easily in the early part of this season.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. I'll be perfectly honest. I found it hard getting into the season, but I think that's because my mate went well, and I was that way, and I was worried a lot about him. So having him back was amazing, and he didn't tell me when he was coming to get, so it was a big surprise.
I didn't tell anyone where I was going to come because I thought.
I know.
My
my
energy levels were all over the place, honestly, and I didn't know until the last minute that I was definitely going to come. So it was nice.
But yes, it's lovely when we win by a huge margin, but happiness to me is a 46-44 with close racing. And it's been nice to see, and I did comment on a couple of people saying, "Oh, we're going to get 60-30 last night for sure," and I'm like, "We're not." Douglas is a great rider, and he showed that 18-point maximum, and it was an 18-point maximum to whoever said no, he got a 5 ride. No, it was a 6 ride because he took a rider replacement ride. Don't question me, all right? So Douglas is great. Jake Allen, I think, is quite underrated and hasn't reached his full potential yet, and he showed how good he was. And Simon Lambert, I heard people in the pits a week before going, "Oh, Simon Lambert don't go well around here." I'm pretty certain he scored 8 or 9 points the last season, so he's got Wimborne really dialed in, and even
he seems to get the track, doesn't he? He's picking out the lines really well, and if he was behind our boys, he was always on their back wheel a lot of the time. So he seems to really know it.
So it's been a weird start to the season, but it is what it is. I know Ben mentioned he's worried about Oxford and their strength, but we won by 3 points away, and then we beat him at home.
Yeah,
another fair racetrack. I know we were trying to get to the away meeting, but I don't think the calendar's going to work for any of us, which is a shame. So we're still not going to get up there. But yeah, it's encouraging. It's really weird that we've only just done our first league meeting.
Yeah,
but I completely agree with the way the schedule's been laid out this season, and getting all the cups and series out of the way to get everyone bedded in. So fingers crossed, Dickie's back. Quickly.
Again, don't rush it because we don't want him.
I know. He probably would have ridden last night if he hadn't been kept in hospital. He probably would have tried to ride last night. I know he's got quite a nasty abrasion or burn to one of his arms, and he's feeling pretty secondhand. So, it's just great to have Speedway back, and I really love championship level Speedway.
Yeah,
I do.
It's a lot more gritty, a lot more competitive, less processional. I'm in total agreement. There are quite a few people out there, and they're entitled to their opinion. I'm not coming anymore because it's not Premiership. We don't get to see the best in the world. The races that we see at Wimborne Road these days are a lot more competitive. The riders do make their mistakes, and it allows for some quick passing, and the riders are a bit more willing to try different things, and because a lot of them are still learning, it makes it much more of an exciting sport, in my opinion, than the Premiership, let alone the GPs. I mean, it's great having World Championship Speedway, on TV, still getting the big crowds out there. But again, I do find a lot of it, other than one or two rides, maybe a GP, a lot of it is very processional. It's just whoever gets out the gate, that's who's winning mighty programs. But yeah, absolutely loving the Championship Speedway. It's brilliant.
Potentially, with the exception of a couple of heats, almost anyone has the potential to win a heat in this league. That's what I love about it. And they're trying, look at Sam Hagan at the challenge match against Swindon.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I know he's got good equipment behind him. He's part of the Hagan family. So he's got good equipment behind him, but you haven't really heard much of him. And then he comes and performs that well in a very tough lineup. And got a number 8 chance last week where had we been winning and not found it so difficult to beat Redcar, I think he probably got a couple of rides. So fair
and
play
then from
to
what
him.
I hear, he had some track time after the meeting as well, just to get out there on the bike because he had all his stuff with him. Did a few laps just to get to know the track a bit better. And fair play to him. He's certainly got a big future ahead of him. Wherever it takes him. So I want to see more of him.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love to see, and that's the other thing I'm finding now is I like seeing a lot of these youngsters, even for other teams or getting a chance and seizing it with both hands. I find that probably it's not up there with the Pirates winning, but it's down there a little bit, but it's still, it gives me fulfillment. It's great to see the youngsters. And what's really encouraging is there are a lot of them.
Yes.
And this is what we were lacking, and they're getting more opportunities. And I say more of it. If another Swindon challenge meeting came up just to keep Swindon going while they're still looking for a home, I'd be happy with that. And, unfortunately, Doyley was another level. You can see why he's performing so well. He was ridiculous. It was like a rocket.
Yeah, I mean, by the time he come off the second bend, he was sort of like a quarter of a lap ahead of everyone, and you're just like, well, let him go. There's no point, really, is there?
What's the point? Not going to touch him. Long way from riding with a dislocated shoulder and falling off every third lap. So, and fair play to him. Former Pirate. Most riders are, to be fair, but it's good to see. It's good to see. I just want to go back a couple. There's a few bits that I think we missed out on while we were talking to Ben. So if you've got anything to go through, do it. Socials or anything of the like.
What I was going to mention, of course, is something we started towards the end of last year was if you're watching now and you haven't sort of had the time, I know a lot of people haven't got the time to sit down for an hour and watch our show on YouTube. We do put each show available online as a podcast, so you can download PirateCast to your mobile device and just have an audio version of PirateCast, so you can listen in the car on your way to work or on the bus, on the train. So you can find us on iTunes, any of the good podcast providers. Just search for PirateCast and you should get us there. You can subscribe, give us 5 stars, leave us a comment if you like. It's all great support. But again, we understand not everyone can sit here for an hour and they've got things to do in the evening. So if you're just catching this on the flip side and weren't able to join us live tonight, another option is check out that podcast and you can just listen to us rather than watch. It all comes out exactly the same. So just without being able to see our lovely faces.
Thank you very much to my colleague Jez for that idea, and thank you for Lee for implementing it so quickly. That's the one I was trying to find. So from Clive, just regards to the tracks, I know Jamie asked the question and he might have missed when we spoke to Ben about it. But Terry the Trackman is quite ill at the moment, and he hasn't been doing it for a few weeks now. And from what I understand, his son stepped up and he's still trying to get to grips with how the riders want it. So that's why it doused the previous week and it was dry this week. So it's frustrating for the riders. I understand that, but we've also got to understand it's another guy coming in who's only maybe seen it from afar and had minimal input, and he's trying his best to do it. It will come good, and our boys have managed to come good on it at the end of the day, because there's still 2 teams and the other teams have been riding the track perfectly well. That's the other argument, they need to get out of the trap. So I just wanted to get that covered off. There was one about Mandy bigging up Cole, but I'm not sure. You're a bloody great DJ, Cole. I'm not so sure about that. And then Cole posted one when I said he only did 4 heats, and he said 3 heats. So and he called me a cheeky something. I won't go into that. Evil Robot Steve said, I think Ben nailed it with the Breaking Bad reference. Literally, the minute I posted that, Ben Cook fell off the bike, which he never does. That's never happening again.
It's a bad omen. We got to think of something else.
Lee and I have some superstitions with stuff.
Yeah,
various
that go
bits and
back
pieces.
years.
That goes back. Pretty much Greg Wolozek was that one with Dublet, because that was one of his fork cover sponsors, and we used to have to say Dublet or shout Dublet before he started a race.
Yeah, if we did, it would be
worked
okay.
a lot. It worked a lot.
It did.
So yeah.
Clive Tires again, surely got to be one league next season with all the doubts over Wolves, Panthers, Edinburgh, Birmingham. Absolutely. I mean, who knows what's going to happen between now and then? 1,000,001 different things if history is anything to go by. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, I don't want to say it's not looking good but there's a lot of challenges ahead for British Speedway as it is. So, I mean, maybe one league is the way to go. Everyone can put all their eggs in one basket with the one league, and it will make it a bit more balanced. Change the points limit a little bit and get everyone mixed in. Get some sponsors for a big league in. I know there's been some new sponsors for Speedway announced over the last week or two, so that's always good news. But one league, maybe that is the way to go. We'll wait and see.
It's going to have to be. There's a lack of teams, and it's just going to be this. It'll be like the start of our season where it's Plymouth, like 6 meetings.
Yeah,
and that's basically going to be what the top league's like. So it can't be sustainable. It'd be interesting to see how that goes, because it is a democratic vote. But hopefully, everyone will look to the best thoughts for Speedway rather than their own self-business interests for a season at least. We'll see.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a strange. Hicko had a comment on Twitter, but he hasn't put it on here, and that's about getting us involved in match day presentation.
I mean, now I know that there were some discussions about that at the last. We were certainly talking about it, and floating the idea out there. And then obviously my winter happened, which kind of derailed anything. But no, I'm
you're so selfish. It's ridiculous.
Sorry, I'll try not to get cancer in future. I'll try my best. I'm so bloody self-centered.
If you're going to be reckless, you got. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try. I'll try my best. All right, that's all I can promise. Okay.
Thank you.
If it ever occurs to me, if ever I think, do you know what I might do this weekend? No, I won't do it. I'll
don't get cancer. No.
Yeah, I'll try. I will absolutely try.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. But no, as what a nightmare thing to say, but we're open to offers. If anyone wants to talk to us about stuff, pre-meeting stuff, we're there. We're wandering around. We're not doing a heck of a lot apart from eating and chatting, which we'd potentially be doing if we were presenting something as well. So yeah, I mean,
maybe not initially. Maybe not initially. Once we settled in for a couple of meetings.
So yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to do anything, let us know. We're available on socials. Ben keeps his eye on that 24/7 pretty much. So yeah, if you want to talk to us about that, go for it.
Just on that as well, I just want to thank Rob Dyer for the big shout out last night.
Yes,
and to Scotty Mitchell and Andy Haig for giving us a shout out on Pirates TV as well. Much appreciated, fellas, and thank you to all of you guys who've tuned in for our first episode back. Appreciate there's been a big gap, and I also appreciate that if you're following us on Twitter, please like and interact with our tweets, because the algorithm's not as easy as it is on Facebook. On Facebook, you can put see first. When you click follow, you can put see first. On Twitter, it works a bit differently. And if you haven't interacted with a page for a while, and admittedly, it's only updates we've been doing, it won't show up on your timeline. So please interact with the tweets, and then we won't find out down the line and go, oh, I didn't realize you were on. I've tried to post as much as I could, to the extent that Alan Hickson goes, no, you haven't mentioned it much at all. I've literally done about 15 posts in the last 3 days, I think, roughly, to say we're back tonight so that people didn't miss it. But thank you. Massive thanks to those people for giving us a shout out for the show tonight.
Darren's just said, if we want more stuff to do down there, we could dress up as pirates and dance on the start line.
We talked about doing that on the sponsor meeting, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We could maybe, we'll see about that. Yeah, I mean, the long hair is not going to be back for then. So, yeah, it's going to need to be a wig. Anyway, right. So with that, I think we're pretty much done. I think there's only one more item left on the agenda, which...
No, chemo brain. No, we're done. You got chemo brain.
No, I mean,
there's nothing more.
I've put a lot of work into this pirate joke this time, because it's it's Pirates team themed, okay? So I think it's going to be a good one. So Ben, if you're ready, I'm going to finish off this show. It's been a great one tonight, by the way, and thank you for everyone for tuning in.
Thanks ever so much for joining us again.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a long time. We've been looking forward to it for so long, coming back, and now I'm sort of ready, willing, and able to do it. We're going to be a lot more regular with the shows. But thank you, everyone who sort of checked in on me, asked us when we're going to be back, and telling us who they'd like to see on PirateCast. And I'm just glad that we've got the opportunity to do this. What is that?
I keep thinking of that McLovin line where he says, "I look like Marvin Hamlish." Who the is Marvin Hamlish? I've got that. Who the is Mark Goldbridge? Anyway, thank you, Brendan Keating C.
Yes, there we are. Right, so
Sorry.
this week's pirate joke. This year's so far. This year's pirate joke is the best I've done all year. Right, what do you say to a Poole pirate when the sail breaks on the pirate ship?
I don't know. What do you say to a Poole pirate when the sail breaks on a pirate ship?
Anders, row. What was that? What?
Don't know. It won't stop though. Where it is.
Well, we clearly need to work on that again next time because it's never pre-planned. I'll tell you. Anyway, well, we'll
I found it. That's the one.
Oh, okay. Do I have to do the looking around thing again?
Yeah. Goddamn
Okay,
YouTube moving their links, mate. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. There we are. Well, I mean, that went to crap, and it was one of my best jokes as well. Really pirate themed. Sorry, Anders, I'm not making fun of your name, but it kind of worked for a pirate thing.
Mate.
Yeah, it was all right.
I even used the hashtag row your boat when he won.
That'll work. That will work. Betty Lou, you've been working so long on that one. I actually made myself laugh when I thought about it. So I'm like, go remember that one from the first PirateCast back. Right. Okay, that's it for tonight. Go on.
Face red heart shape, amazing show as always. Oh, right. Okay. Face red heart shape, amazing show as always. Thank you, Mandy.
Oh, okay. Did that not translate?
The emoji didn't translate, which was weird.
Okay. Okay, brilliant. Thank you once again so much for you all tuning in. Again, if you're listening on the replay or watching on the replay, once again, every view and every listen really does help us out. Make sure you check out with all the jokes we've been doing tonight. Superstar DJ from
Here we go!
Dark Revolution. Sorry. And this is the ambassador for this beer is Carl West, Poole's very own superstar DJ. So make sure you get to darkrevolution.co.uk. You can get it ordered, you can get it delivered, you can go and pick it up as well if you want to from their brewery in Salisbury. Check it out, it's all on the website. And again, you can even stop in there for a pint or two. It's all on tap there as well. So definitely go and check it out and support Carl as well because he's done a great job sort of partnering with these guys. And yeah, absolutely loving the beer. It's amazing. Go and get some. We don't just say it. I'm normally not an IPA guy, but some of this stuff is really delicious. Fruity and it's really fruity and nice.
I am an IPA guy. That's good stuff. And it doesn't taste like a 6.5% IPA. It is a bit dangerous. Yeah, but it's great. It went down a treat tonight. Thank you.
So there we go. Once again, if you want to make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this if you're watching it on YouTube. Also important, if you can click that notification bell on there, you'll get notified every time we post a new video or when we're about to go live. So that's really important. So if you could do that for us, that would be amazing. That, I think, is it, Ben. I'll see you down at the track on Wednesday, and we will... But yeah, I think, that's it. Thanks. We'll see everyone. Come and say hello. When I get into the track at 6:30, or when we both go in through the door just after 6:30, you tend to shoot off to the pits. I go to the third and fourth bend to grab a burger. Said hello to a couple of people last night. Really great people down there that to sort of say hello to. So anyone who wants to come and say hi, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love that. Is that your wife in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. It's time to end.
We haven't finished the show. She doesn't figure that bit out, does she?
Okay. Thanks, everyone. We're going to roll the credits now, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you for all the support, and we will see you next. What? Oh,
sudden realization. You should see the face. It's brilliant.
Nice. Love it. Right. Brilliant. That'll be on the podcast too. Anyway, right. We'll see you next week, guys. See you down at the track next week. See you very soon for PirateCast. We'll bring you another great guest. And see you down at Wimborne Road.
Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a good evening. Cheers, guys.